Hey everybody, it's Durger time, and you know that means it's time for another episode of TEW 2020. Holy Wrestling New Era. Our challenge save where we're trying to take AEW, trying to not get fired by Tony Khan, trying to maintain that momentum. We've not done a great job at it so far. We do have some morale issues. We have a low performance rating by Tony Khan. But we did complete some of our minor objectives to prevent us having to deal with these chips. Not all of them, but we end up coming out positive. We do need to go ahead and spin the wheel again, get 3 new options in the Wheel of Khan. So let's go ahead and do that now. We are back at the wheel, ready to go. We have 3 objectives that we need to fill. Let's go ahead and let's see what they're gonna be. How about QT Marshall? That is not gonna be a fun one. How about QT Marshall? I hear the fans love him. Give him another feud this month with at least 55 heat. So again, not too bad. We gotta get a QT Marshall on the show. With 55 heat and a feud, we could pick anybody to do that, so that's not too bad, I think. Very similar to what we've had previously. So, you know, I think we could do that. We've shown that we can accomplish the heat-based ones pretty okay. Let's go ahead, go back to the wheel here. Let's spin it again, see what else we got. Give Impact the rub. We need to continue to foster this relationship in the Forbidden Door. Talent trade an Impact wrestler with one of our own and put them over. So we gotta put them in a storyline. There's no heat objective, but we have to take one of our wrestlers and send them their way. We're gonna do a talent trade with them. So we're gonna have to find who we can do that with and put them in a feud. So that's an interesting wrinkle as we're trying to give back Impact and trade off with somebody to do it. Now let's go ahead and let's check our final minor objective that we need. Ooh, the Night of Run-Ins. So this is going to be an easy one, but this is going to be an immediate one. With this, of course, is from Cody's book here. I've been told people love run-ins. Make every match on the next Dynamite either a pre or post brawl. So that's very simple. We either gain a point or lose a point with that. That's for the next Dynamite. That's a very easy one to accomplish, but may affect our rating, which is the wrinkle that comes into the mix of that. But we either need to do a pre-show or post-show brawl for every match on Dynamite. So that is what we have for the wheel. At the end of January, we have to get our major objective, which right now we are not in a spot to complete. So really, the next month we should really focus on maybe Darby. I mean, we need to get one of our 4 pillars to major stardom. So that's Darby Allin. That's Jungle Boy. That is MJF. And that is Sammy Guevara, who's not on. He's even down further, I think. Sammy's only in the well-known. So really, it's one of those 3 we gotta really focus on. We've not done a great job at focusing on them. Jungle Boy's definitely had some matches, but popularity-wise, not there yet. Darby might be not far off. MJF is a little bit further away than Jungle Boy. I think Darby has to be the big push. I don't. Ooh. I don't know if we're gonna get there in time. That's gonna be real bad for us if we can't get there. In terms of our other major stars, 69. seems to be the lowest. 69. So typically how the stardom will show up here is based solely on the popularity level comparative to everybody else and the show. So if you have some people that are really, really popular, they're going to be considered the major stars of your company. People that are, not, are obviously going to be at the next lower level. So there's a threshold. So we see that 61's not, 62's not. It seems like at least 63 or higher, maybe. Paul White's not. It also has to do with momentum, too. Not entirely, Sting 66. So maybe if we can build up momentum for Darby, we can get there. But I don't think we're going to get there in time. I just don't think we're going to be able to accomplish this major objective. It's going to mean a huge loss at chips. It'll be bad news for us. We did gain some chips back from the last episode, including completion of some of those objectives. It kind of washed out. I think we got 3. So that's certainly good. But yeah, it's certainly going to be a big problem that we're going to have to deal with. But that's our focus. So we know what we got to do on Dynamite. We know what we got to do on Rampage. We know who we got to focus on. Let's go ahead and let's get to it. All right, guys, we are back. We are ready. We're in the Southeast. No backstage incidents to worry about. Some absent workers, which we know. Not a huge deal. But we got to do one of our objectives tonight. Now, we gotta get QT Marshall into a feud with at least 55 heat. I don't know who that's going to be with, but I'm pretty confident that should be fairly easy. I'm not that concerned about that at all. Night of run-ins, we have to do tonight. We get 1 point or we lose 1 point if we don't accomplish it. My only concern about it is that will it affect the show so negatively with that we'll lose points. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll be such a good show that we'll gain points from the show as well. I don't know. Our averages haven't changed yet, so we're still at the same. We need 60. We need a 66 or higher for Dynamite, 62 or higher for Rampage in order to not lose chips. So, we'll see how that works out. We also need to get Impact in an Impact wrestler in a talent trade. I forgot to do that, and I really should have done that. So we've already screwed ourselves out of a week. But we just need to have them in a storyline. I don't think I put a heat level on it, so we'll just say like 50, or something like that. This has to be a consistent storyline. We could start that in next week, and we still have 3 weeks in January to worry about it. Not a big deal. So, QT Marshall tonight. But also, we need to focus on Darby. So we had on our Dark, we kind of focused on him more. We talked about maybe what we could do to boost him up, to get him into major stardom. I think it's going to be difficult, just in sheer popularity. But I think we got to fire at all cannons and see what we can do. So let's see what we can do, I guess. Go ahead and get this show going, and hopefully we can accomplish some of these. All right, catch you guys on the flip. All right, guys, we're back. I made a risky move, and I don't know if it's going to pay off. But we got to get that objective, that major objective accomplished. We only have 4 weeks to do it. This upset one wrestler, and we're going to have to pay the fallout of that. But hopefully we can smooth things over. But without further ado, let's go look at our Night of Brawls. Post-match, pre-match brawls. I think everything's post-match. I think I got everything down. I'm going to say, even though one of these may not technically be a brawl, I think they all are considered brawls. So we're going to go with it. I think I won this one. I think it won't matter because I think our rating will be low enough that it'll negate the chip anyways. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at this show. We start off with a pretty bad opening segment where Cody Rhodes holds up his belt, celebrates his win. It was always for him. It was made for him and only him. He made this company. He's never letting it go. He's not issuing open challenges. He's not going to do anything. He's going to hold on to this like Gollum with the ring, right? This is his baby. Unfortunately, this does not go that well. Did get the crowd hotter though, so not too bad. He interacted with the crowd well, but the segment went 49. I think it was because Brandy was out there, and I think I have her set for sex appeal, and I think that hurt us actually. What's it actually say? He's penalized for using gimmick not suitable for a heel. We should probably take a look at that. We start off the actual show with a match. Orange Cassidy defeats Aaron Solo in 11 minutes with a super kick. Aaron had a 28. Orange Cassidy had a 75, giving us a 49. It went a little too long considering it was a comedy match, so we did get penalized a little bit. Yeah, that was a little low. Basically, Cassidy was just kind of running circles around him, flipping around Aaron, and doing his sort of shtick. This led to QT Marshall coming out and angrily confronting Solo as Orange Cassidy watches, while also taking jabs at Orange Cassidy. It's like, I can't believe you lost to him. He's just some flippy indie wrestler. He's not a real wrestler. I've taught you to wrestle real. I can't believe you let him beat you. He's a disgrace, right? He's like digging in on Orange Cassidy, right? So we advance our storyline of QT Marshall hates flippy shit because he's an old school wrestler. He wants old school wrestling. He's not into this nonsense. That's not what he teaches at the Nightmare Factory, right? So that's sort of his beef that we're gonna have. We're gonna have him feud with Orange Cassidy. This leads to a post-match brawl. I know it's technically not right after, but it's all part of the same segment. As QT Marshall is distracting Orange Cassidy by yelling at Aaron Solo, it's all a ploy. They decided to go after Orange Cassidy for that reason. Nick Camarado and Anthony Ogogo, members of the Factory, come up from behind him, cheap shot him and attack him before Aaron Solo and QT Marshall kind of turn around and laugh it off. It was all a ruse to just distract him as the entire Factory goes after Orange Cassidy and beats him up. That's post-match beat up 1. There we go. QT was supposed to be set as entertaining, but apparently I didn't put him as scripted, and he screwed it up a little bit. Orange Cassidy's performance while selling was fantastic as he just got ragdolled around. We get a announcement that tonight, because there was no clear number one contender, we're getting the House Always Wins gauntlet match. Be a timed entrance elimination match. So a new wrestler will join the ring every minute and a half until all 5 are in. At any point, someone can be eliminated by being pinned. So there's sort of this whole thing going on. Little gauntlet match will be a number one contender. Clearly, we know we're going to make that Darby Allin, and you can kind of see where the problem lie in terms of who we have in here. So 74 people are like, wow, that's a great match for a Dynamite. And I agree. We got Lena versus Yuka Sakazaki. It's a 4-minute, very quick match. It does very poorly. Very, very poorly. Lena defeats Yuka with a standing leg drop and then gets a post-match beatdown as Britt Baker sneaks up on Lena and attacks her. Mad that she lost her title. Actually gets through the surprise, takes her down. So it's the first time we saw Lena actually take some offense and get hurt by it. So clearly, for Britt, not over yet. She wants another shot. She's training. She's trying to beat her, and she's not going to let it go lightly. Right? We advance the storyline. We gain heat for it. Gets us a 56. Again, we're underperforming though for this show. Sting and Darby Allin are backstage. They're talking to the camera. They're talking about this gauntlet match tonight. He says, Darby says, so 5 men tonight enter the gauntlet, and I'm one of them. For 3 years, I started from the ground up here, struggling to get my shot. proving people wrong with every match I have. You know, I've heard it all. Heard it all from the fans. Heard it all from trainers my entire life. You're not big enough. You're not strong enough. You're not good enough. Look, it's too different to be a star. No one's going to follow you. No one's going to care. Well, points to Sting. He knows damn well none of that makes a star. Didn't back then, it doesn't now. It doesn't make them a champion either. Cody's reign of terror ends before it gets a chance to get started. Because he made broken a promise to become champion, I'm going to keep one. That I'm winning this gauntlet. I'm facing Cody, and this time it won't be a time limit draw. So Darby is determined to win this. Gets the crowd hotter, gets a 65. Finally, a good segment. We have another good segment backstage. We have Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley reuniting face to face again after a tepid departure months ago, where they kind of broke up during Jon Moxley's continued devolution as he starts to get more and more bitter and resentful at his place in AEW. Kind of took it out on Eddie that like he just didn't want to deal with him anymore. They're forced back tonight because they've been put into a tag match against two members of the Fallen Order. Kingston tries to break the ice a little bit and goes, "That's just like old times again, huh, man?" Moxley's clearly, though, in a dark place, does not really want to deal with it. Goes, let's just get this over with. He walks away. Kingston clearly frustrated at this whole situation. They improvised well with each other. Gets us a 68. And that match is better than I thought it would be, but mostly because of Kingston and Moxley. We got how long was that? 7 minutes and 53 seconds. Moxley and Kingston obviously defeat Ten and Alan Angels very quickly. Gives him a Death Rider. Jon Moxley head and shoulders above everyone else. Yeah, so overall, okay. 54. It's not horrible. But not great either. Post-match, we have Emmett Koresh come out to interrupt the sort of post-match win. And he kind of croons and goes, "John," in a sort of a sly way. His face is kind of like a playful expression, a little sinister smile as old friends reunite. He says, "The names are different, but the people are the same in a way. You know, we've both gone through a transformation since we've last met. Through the fires and out reborn as something different. We've harnessed our rages to allow that transformation like a beautiful phoenix bursting forth from the flames yet again. New names, new identities, new purpose. For me, that transformation, it was a new life, a new start, a new purpose, a new drive. And for you, well, always the same, isn't it? Same place, old friends. Instead of embracing the new, you've squandered that opportunity to revel in the old, the nostalgic, the comfortable. You've become complacent. It's made you weak. And now you hate everything. Because you know that. You did that to yourself. And that's why you're here now. And I'm going to show it to you. In time. I'm going to show you the man you could be. Show you if you dive a little bit deeper into those fires. Deeper into the abyss. How much stronger you could be. But for another day. So long for now, my old friend. Emmett walks away, and Kingston is confused about this interaction. Obviously, AEW does not pretend that other wrestling promotions don't exist, so we know that, Moxley and Emmett, aka Bray Wyatt, had a feud in the Fed, and we're playing into that they have a former history, and Emmett is kind of hitting a nerve with Moxley. Kingston seems confused about the whole thing, though, but Mox seems to intimately understand. And he cold shoulders Kingston and walks away through the crowd as Kingston's trying to be no, don't listen to him. It's fine, whatever. Kingston struggled to go off script, which I don't believe for one bit, but Emmett and Moxley were incredible. It gives us a segment rating of 74. We advance the storyline here and continue to gain heat for it. Meanwhile, though, in our post-match brawl, after the fact, as Mox leaves, a distracted Kingston is snuck up on and attacked by Stu Grayson of the Fallen Order, and lays him out, building up a bit of a dynamic feud here. So clearly Emmett Koresh is going to be trying to manipulate Moxley. Eddie Kingston's kind of in the middle, and what happens will be sort of instrumental between all three parties. So this segment doesn't do that great. It's a 48. It's not too bad, but could have been a lot better. What? Guys, always double check when you're fast typing and things that you didn't backspace, because I wrote Keith Lee. That's not Keith Lee. I don't think so. Apparently, I must have wrote Keith Lee, backspaced, and wrote the Lee or something, and then it went to Layla Hirsch. So, Layla Hirsch cosplaying as Keith Lee. I'm going to say every attribute of Keith Lee is not present in Layla Hirsch. Pigment, size, skin color, gender. I don't know how we pulled this off, but somehow we've mistaken Keith Lee and Layla Hirsch in the booking. But Keith Lee has an open challenge. As always, Sammy steps up and wants the challenge. This segment could have done better, but, all things considered, it is what it is. Hopefully the match is with Keith Lee. Thank you. The match is pretty good. 66 for Keith Lee. Sammy's got a 57. We make defense number 3 of the TNT title. It was pretty damn good. Keith Lee obviously defeats him with a spirit bomb. Afterwards, we have a I think I got that order wrong, unfortunately. But so Sammy and Keith Lee have a nice sign of respect. They shake their hands, but quickly Lance Archer comes out and ends up attacking Sammy, lays him out. He starts facing off with Keith Lee, and the two start brawling, forcing the refs to pull them apart. I think there was supposed to be another segment first of them actually shaking hands, but I must have got the order screwy in the whole list. But basically, we have our post-match run-in. Lance Archer, who's been built up on Dark, if you've been watching our Dark segments, has been kind of in a quest for retribution. Clearly has now aimed at Keith Lee as the sort of target for that retribution. Going after a big guy to do it. That's got some balls, but Archer does not care. We must have not had it. I must have changed it, but that's fine. So this is the match we're going to have some problems with. So it was an elimination match. We wanted to give Darby a huge boost. This was a fantastic heat, great wrestling match. Darby Allin defeats everybody. Obviously, though, there was different eliminations going on. It wasn't just Darby wasn't the only one eliminating everybody, but ultimately he was able to eliminate he was able to be the last one standing. Everyone did fantastic in this match. There's not a nothing looking bad here. Actually, Adam Cole and Hangman actually probably were the weakest of them, but all well above the 70 mark. Darby took a crazy bump, ended up giving us a 73. And afterwards, we sort of see the fallout as Hangman Page and Punk cost each other the match, basically. Punk got eliminated because of Hangman's shenanigans. CM Punk came back and got him eliminated through some shenanigans, and the two brawl in a post-match brawl after the fact, and continue their rivalry as now Darby Allin is number one contender. So pretty good. Gives us a 71. We need a, what did I say? We need a 66. Maybe we got a 68. So we don't gain anything. We don't lose anything. It's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. We ended up with a really good main event, and that certainly helped, and it padded out the weaker elements of the show. We did complete our post-match brawl, so we do gain a chip. We don't gain one from the rankings, but overall, we actually succeeded. And of course, Punk is very mad at this match. He's furious. So we're going to deal with the fallout of that. We might just have to shove a ton of money at him fast, but that's a problem. All right. We've already done our locker rooms, so we can't do anything else because we're on Rampage. Big morale issues. Angry. I am going to give him a bonus right now. I'm going to say, I'm going to do something stupid. I'm going to do 30K. Down to annoyed. I'll take annoyed. I'll take annoyed for now. I didn't want angry. We basically paid him off. I think, if the developers were to ever ask me, and they never will, they don't care about me. If they ever were to ask me what should be added into TEW 2022, 2024, whatever the next iteration would be, I really think expanding to talking to wrestlers, you should be able to bribe, to pay off a wrestler. Say, listen, I want you to put over this person, and I will pay you a bonus for doing it, right? And the amount of money should be determined based on their position, their ranking, their standing, as well as their personality and their character. I think it would be a really great addition. If someone is involved in the game watching, I don't know why you would be, or if you know someone that's involved, throw it out to them. I think it would be an easy... Honestly, you could probably add it to this here. You might be able to do it, and I might not know, but I've never seen it in the talk to wrestlers. You could talk to a wrestler, and you could ask them, hey, I want you to lose to Aaron Solo. And they're just going to be no, absolutely, I would be super mad. But it's just a way to see what their personality would be. I really wish that the talking to wrestlers allowed you to make some negotiations with the wrestler. Be I'm willing to give you this. Or, there's promises that you can kind of provide, and there's promises they can provide. Moxley said that he would put over Darby Allin, right? Which maybe we should do that tonight before that expires. Christian Cage said that he'll put over Ricky Starks. Matt Hardy said he would put over Powerhouse Hobbs, but you don't have a way to negotiate that on your own. You want to be listen, I'll give you, you should be able to be listen, I promise to put you in a feud with 65 Heat in the next 3 months if you did this, right? Kind of promise them something, promise them money, promise them vacation, promise them to change their contract, or I promise to give you a title shot in a year, or something like that. That's my rant. Anyways, we got to put on Dynamite or Rampage. It's going to be shorter, obviously. I think I like that idea of putting Darby Allin in a match with Moxley, but honestly, it doesn't fit the story. I don't know. But maybe it does. Darby's a star. He got boosted up in the ratings big from that show. Holy hell. I might be wrong, but I thought he was at 59. Yeah. that match boosted him like a crazy person. If we give him the belt, he's going to be a major star. We're gonna be successful at that. I think we're going to give Jon Moxley a match with him. I think that's our main event tonight. And I don't know how we tie that. Well, no, we can tie that into our story. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Spoilers. All right, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and let's put on Rampage and see if we can get Darby to become a major star for us. All right, catch you guys on the flip. All right, guys, and we got a quick Rampage, 64 minutes, 3 matches as usual. A little light on the story development, but we got about, I mean, honestly, actually, probably only 3 storylines are followed through in this show, so not too bad. We haven't solved the CM Punk Fury issue. We'll have to see what the fallout of that is, but we are going to take Moxley's offer, because I think it's going to help Darby a lot, and I think he actually found a way to make it play into the story. So let's go ahead, let's see what Rampage has in store for us. We got the show starting off with a bang. We advance Jon Moxley's storyline as Darby Allin and Sting are out there celebrating with the Rampage crowd about their number 1 contendership. Sting hypes up Darby, saying, gives him a few of the Stinger woos. And he's like, we got to hear it from our number 1 contender about his thoughts about having to go toe to toe with 4 other of the top wrestlers in AEW and making it out on top. Darby walks over to a sea of cheers as he walks over to Sting, grabs the microphone, looks around and kind of like really letting the moment kind of linger. After a long pause, he just holds the mic up to his mouth and just goes, "Told you," and then drops it. The cheers. We know Darby's not going to be a person that's going to give a long speech or anything like that to gloat about himself. Though the words of Sting brings out Mox, who's now in a weird headspace. He's been in a weird headspace, but especially after last Wednesday on Dynamite, he's even in a worse headspace now. And he comes to the ring. He squares off and stares down Sting and grabs the microphone and goes, "4 of the other top wrestlers in AEW." Yeah. So I guess I'm not in that. Well, you didn't face me. And he turns to Darby. You want a real challenge? You want to face an AEW champion? Why don't you face one? Moxley's just got vitriol in him. Just this sort of resentment is just turning into a hardened ball, lashing out at anybody and everybody he could. It wasn't long ago that Darby Allin and Jon Moxley were on good terms, but clearly he's now been triggered like a raw nerve simply by Sting not acknowledging him. This sort of resentment. Mox and Darby get into each other's face, and of course we have a main event tonight for Moxley versus Darby Allin. 74 does very good. Darby Allin struggled because other people weren't following the script. Fair. We have a pretty good women's division match. Tay Conti and Athena. It's a 53. It's about had decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Athena defeated Tay Conti in 12 minutes. Overall, got the crowd buzzing. Very good match. And it showed. 53 is very solid. We're giving Athena a bunch of wins against and just sort of challenges as we kind of build up her legitimacy. Because I think she'll be a strong challenger for the title at some point. Backstage, we got QT Marshall hanging out with the boys of the factory here. And he talks about what happened on Wednesday with Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. And he says, "Yeah, we made a statement last Wednesday, Orange Cassidy. We made a statement that we are no longer going to be disrespected or allow our industry to be disrespected." These boys here have worked so hard, too hard, to let a piece of shit like Orange Cassidy make a mockery of this sport. And his best friend enablers, they better watch out too. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the factory is going to expose you all for what you really are. Just a simple carnival act. This gets a 43. We continue the storyline for QT, but we lose heat for it, unfortunately. So we know the QT issue is going to be hard, but I think giving him with Orange Cassidy gives him the best shot to get us a good rating. We only need a 55, so, we'll get there, I think, but there we go. We have a match with Stu Grayson versus Eddie Kingston, sort of a grudge match after what happened on Wednesday. Eddie gets his win back and ends up beating Stu Grayson with a quick roll-up to protect Stu a little bit. Gets us a 57. Not too bad. Got the crowd buzzing. Emmett was ringside and doing some good work, but Stu is unable to win the match here. And Eddie is able to get the pin here. Backstage, we got Jake Roberts spelling out Keith Lee's future, saying that Lance Archer doesn't care how big or tall you are, how strong you are, what your accolades are. He doesn't go for the weak and the meek and mild. He will tackle and topple anything that stands in his way, and he will be heard in AEW because he only has one single mantra: everybody dies. So, Lance Archer, not afraid of Keith Lee. Jake Roberts spelling that out, got the crowd hotter as we build up a Keith Lee Lance Archer feud that I think is going to end up in like a giant slobber knocker, lights out. I don't know. Texas death match, tables match. We're going to do something crazy in an event at some point for this, I think. Gets a 59. Mox versus Allin in our main event did phenomenal. Got an 80, which is actually higher than both of their in-ring performances, so we've really built it up well in the show, and it paid off. We check our dirt sheet, I'm sure we would see a lot of bonuses, just a lot of bonuses. Only penalties were Moxley's stamina, but 14 minutes, Darby Allin does defeat Jon Moxley, because Jon Moxley was nice enough to let him take the win here. Gets a coffin drop, gets us an 80 for the finish of the show. At the very end of the show, Darby tries to shake Mox's hand. He has a lot of respect for him, but Mox just pushes the hand away and walks away. Mox is continuing down his dark path, and Darby wins the matches, but is unable to get any type of camaraderie from Moxley in the end. Gets us a 71. We need, for the show, at least a 62. I think we've easily blown past this. I wouldn't be shocked if we actually get a chip from the show. Actually didn't blow past it as much as I thought, but we had a 66 for the show, but that is more than enough to get one chip back. So we actually get 2 chips total for our show, one for completing our objective for the week about the run-ins, and one for this Rampage. That's very good. All right. I do want to check to see how we are with Punk here. Still annoyed. Do we want to give him a little bit more? Let's give him another 10 grand just to see if that cools him off a little bit. Still annoyed. I'm fine with annoyed. I just don't want him to try to pack it up or start to cause drama. That's my only concern. Now, Darby. Still oh, we got there. Oh, we're there. Major star. We don't even need him to win the championship now, but I think we can. So we only needed 2 big matches to get him up to major stardom. So we've completed our major objective. We just need to hold that until the end of January, and then we've completed it. But I think he should become champion. I think that's an interesting story. I like Cody Rhodes being champion, but honestly, truthfully, I think there's better opportunity here of putting Darby in a superstar status by giving him the title. Cody can always take the title back in some capacity, but I think the story of them being the first match, well, it wasn't the first match, but the first match of them together in AEW being time limit draw, leading to Darby finally being able to beat Cody is kind of interesting. And I think that's the direction we're going to go. Anyways, that's it for me today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time for another episode of All Elite Wrestling New Era.